You're listening to The Sound of Young America. I'm Jesse Thorn, America's radio sweetheart. My guests on the program are Steve Agee and Brian Posehn. They play Steve and Brian on the Sarah Silverman program. Sarah's neighbors, friends, and gay couple. Welcome to the show, guys.
Thank you.
Hey.
So we kind of got into this before we went onto the radio. But one of the reasons I wanted to have the two of you on as a pair is that your characters are as a couple. Is that your characters are two of the only gay characters in fictional television that are gay, do gay stuff, and talk about being gay, but don't represent some kind of gay stereotype. And in fact, kind of your characters kind of work against gay stereotype in a certain way.
Right. I think that was the idea. I don't know. We weren't behind it when. We weren't in the first meetings, but yeah, I think that was the idea: is to make us gay, and we're not going to be like any other gays you've ever seen on TV.
It's so not gay that like the first few episodes, some of us didn't even know we were gay as we were shooting. Right, Brian?
Yeah. I had no idea till I think episode 2 or so, where I finally said it. I think I said it to you first, hey, are we supposed to be a gay couple? Is that what the deal is?
That can't be true.
That is totally true. That is how not gay we were written.
Wasn't one of the very first episodes, one of the subplots, or one of the primary plots of the episode was Brian, your character, Brian, claiming to be bisexual despite having never been with a woman?
I think that was around when I figured it out, because in the pilot, in the pilot, she makes a gay joke, but it's never really attributed to us, to one of us being gay. She just says it about her friends.
Yeah, and in the opening credits of the pilot, I think, before it actually went to series, it was originally like, this is Steve and Brian. They're gay or brothers or something. Like, it was uncertain what we were.
Right.
It wasn't pitched to you as you guys are going to play the gay couple next door?
No, never. We didn't even talk about it. For me, it was like the easiest gig I ever got, because it was just, Sarah wants you to be on her show, and I went, okay, and then that was it. You know, I'll do anything for her. So I had no idea. I mean, honestly, people think it's a joke because I've talked to other people about it, and they think, oh no, you're messing around, but nope.
The pilot episode also, we didn't really have a B story when we shot it. It was just the one scene in the restaurant where Sarah farts and shit goes to the bathroom in her pants.
There's a lot of things that happen on the Sarah Silverman program that we can't really talk about on public radio. It's an interesting contrast, these characters that you play, against the rest of the content of the show, because Sarah Silverman's character, much like her stand-up stage character, is this very naive person who is completely self-centered, and that self-centeredness sort of manifests itself often in kind of blithe hatefulness, racism, sexism, anything that might come out of an extremely self-centered character.
Right.
Whereas your two characters are actually kind of sweet,
just like real life. Basically, the characters are us. I mean, she cast us because they wrote it for us, and I like to think nice guys, and I mean, the only thing that isn't us about the characters is that we're gay. Other than that, we're big video game slacker couch potatoes that you see on the TV.
How do you think the fact that your characters are gay colors them on the show? Like, what do you think is the significance of making them gay, as opposed to, say, roommates?
That's a really good question, and
I think I've thought about this, and the only thing I can come up with for the reason they made us gay is kind of just to make fun of me and Brian in real life. Like they were sitting around the writer's room and they went, hey, let's make them gay.
No, I think what it really, I think it's like if our characters were having these arguments and we were just roommates, you'd be like, are those guys gay? You know what I mean? Like,
It gives a nice reason for the two of you to be so attached at the hip as well.
Right.
You mentioned, Brian, that this was the easiest job you ever got, since it was just kind of served to you on a silver platter. It must be kind of exciting to be again making a television show like a real job with all these people who you've worked with, and the two of you have known and worked with for so long.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Mr. Show experience, where I get to make TV with my friends, and it's way more fun than coming into a room and not knowing anybody. It's just been great. I mean, that's part of why I'm back, and why, it's not just the writing and not just that it's a good show, but it's my friend's show, one of my favorite people in the world. And then I get to hang out with her, and then all these other people like this guy and John Schrader, one of our writers. We've been friends forever. It's just been awesome.
What about for you, Steve? This is a big break as an actor for you.
Yeah, this is my first TV experience. Before that was writing for Jimmy Kimmel, and before that was stuck in reality TV. I've worked on like every reality show, from Real World to Road Rules, Osbourne's, Temptation Island, like you name it. I worked on all the old school reality shows, and then through Sarah, I got the job over at Jimmy. And didn't start there. I was a writer. I was a TV watcher for 2 years.
What is a TV watcher?
You think you watch TV?
Yeah, you watch TV for about 10 hours a day. The worst TV, because his monologue is video clip heavy, and those are the things that you watch for. And then I became a writer for about 6 months before Sarah's show got picked up, and I left to do that.
How did you get this career in reality television? Like, how did you end up? I can see how someone just gets a job, and that people get 1,000 jobs in television. But
well, I originally came to LA with a band. I was a musician. I was a bass player, and then within a few months, that ended, and I was the only one that stayed in LA. Everyone left, and I met a girl who was taking classes at the Groundlings, sketch comedy improv theater, and I was like, oh, that's really cool. I went to some shows with her, and I started, taking classes there for a while, like writing classes and stuff, and one of the teachers worked over on The Real World, and she gave me my first job. And once you're in reality television, like, it's like the mob. You just can't get out of it, because there's new shows popping up all the time and people leaving to go work on them. So you can always, once you're in, you can always find a job.
What jobs did you have?
I was a logger. I'd watch all the raw footage and enter the info. I was on the Osbournes, I was a transcriber. I had to write Ozzy's dialogue like word for word, which was impossible.
Can you type fast? Are you 100?
Yeah, I can type pretty fast. I mean, but you have the luxury of rewinding, which you did many times. And then I went on, other
Although you
shows.
don't have the luxury of transcribing a person who speaks coherently.
Yeah, exactly. And then I went on to do story editing and assistant story editing on like Joe Millionaire.
A story editor. That's like the.
Those are like jobs that would make you never want to watch television, let alone work in television again. Like,
well, it ended when I went into severe depression and started having such bad panic attacks that I became agoraphobic, and I just stopped going to work because I couldn't leave my house.
Wow.
And then Sarah actually was the one who suggested me going on antidepressants, which within a week, after 3 months in my house, I was out and about and was like, oh my God, this is amazing. And then she got me the gig over at Kimmel.
Did you feel like your trouble came directly from your work?
No, I had suffered from panic disorder for years and years, but only